with tattoos on their face, but we like, damn, what we got to lose? If we don't pop now, we going back to the hood. This is when I knew Eminem was real. He's like, I don't give a man. This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real.
When you hear the name Suge Knight, it instantly rings alarms in your head. His reputation alone had the whole industry moving cautious, watching every step, every word. Back then, crossing Suge wasn't just rap beef. It felt like real-life consequences were attached, and everybody knew it. But somehow, 50 Cent and Eminem stood tall where most folded.
Looked at him, and he took a puff of his cigar, and he blew it out, and he did like this, and they left.
These two didn't flinch, didn't backpedal, and definitely didn't play scared. While others whispered behind closed doors, they stayed loud and direct.
At my bodyguards who had guns, and they had their people which had guns, and they had us outpowered and outnumbered.
Even when stories started floating about threats and alleged hit plans connected to Suge, it was clear he couldn't get inside their heads the way he did with others. During hip-hop's golden era, Suge Knight wasn't just running a record label, he was running the streets too.
If you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. Some kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right?
Death Row Records became a powerhouse, pushing out legendary music from Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Tupac, while Suge's presence loomed heavy on the West Coast. His name carried weight.
Really doing those things you rapping about, you talking about, I can respect that.
Right.
If somebody else writing your rhymes, somebody else, is you telling somebody else's story, that really don't mean nothing to me.
And most people stayed far away from conflict with him. That's exactly why 50 and M standing up shocked everyone. While the industry froze at the mention of Suge, they stayed cool, unshaken, and sharp-minded. No panic, no fear, just straight confidence. That kind of boldness made them unpredictable, and unpredictability was something Suge couldn't control. Suge Knight, the former Death Row boss, built a reputation that went far beyond music. His aggressive image and history of violent allegations earned him a scary nickname that followed him everywhere.
Man, what they trying to do? What do they want? I don't understand. What do they want? I say, hey, man, they want you.
Over the years, his behavior made him one of the most controversial figures hip-hop had ever seen. His name also got dragged into endless rumors surrounding Tupac's tragic passing. Suge was with Pac the night of the shooting, and that alone fueled decades of speculation and accusations.
It was a duality of beef going on at the same time during the time I was protecting this guy.
Even though nothing was ever proven in court, still the questions never stopped. Stories about intimidation followed him too. There were reports claiming he assaulted Vanilla Ice's associates and pressured him over music rights, adding more fuel to his already wild image. On top of that, his alleged ties to the Bloods sparked nonstop talk.
We were on the turf in LA during the whole East Coast, West Coast beef between New York and LA.
That he used street connections to strengthen his power in the industry. This wasn't just music politics, it was a pressure-filled era where fear ruled and only a few dared to stand their ground. The feud between Suge Knight and Eminem didn't come out of nowhere. When you stack up everything tied to Suge's name, it's easy to see why he was labeled dangerous, unpredictable, and controversial in the music world.
Surrounding him. And I'm looking at M's face and I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, shit, something ain't right.
He wasn't just another executive, he was seen as a real problem by a lot of people. Even comedian Cat Williams weighed in on the culture around violence in hip-hop, saying, now, New York is worse than Chicago and California with the drill because they are throwing like their friends in there. He also pointed out how earlier rap battles stayed lyrical, saying,
I'm calling Dre's bodyguards. I called Dre and look, man, we got a serious issue, man. Death Row is here and they trying to fight. They trying to do whatever they gonna do. The limo's pulling off as we're coming out. Death Row's behind us.
When we had battle raps with Ja Rule in them, they were still alive. His point was about how the energy had shifted and how things started feeling way darker. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Eminem was climbing fast, but the road wasn't smooth at all. The competition was ruthless, the pressure nonstop, and success painted a target on your back. Suge Knight was known for intimidating anyone he thought might blow up in the rap game, and Eminem definitely caught his attention. According to people close to the situation, Suge allegedly wanted Eminem out of the picture, and there were claims that things went way beyond threats. Reports surfaced alleging multiple attempts on Eminem's life, accusations that shocked the industry when they first came out.
So you couldn't even see him behind me. So the whole time, I'm on knockout mode or breakneck mode. You know, I'm more dangerous with my hands than I am with a gun. And we were all worried, man, that something can happen to us on our watch, man. You got to understand something. I was under a lot of pressure, man.
These claims were later discussed publicly by Byron Big Nas Williams, who served as Eminem's bodyguard at the height of his fame. Big Nas recalled warning him directly, saying, "I say, hey man, they want you." One alleged incident was said to have happened around 2001 during the Source Hip Hop Awards when tensions were already sky high. Around that same time, Big Nas became closely associated with Eminem during the peak of My Name Is fame. Although he originally connected with M hoping to move closer to industry executives as a producer, everything shifted fast. Once real threats started surfacing, protecting Eminem became priority number one. Big Nas reportedly had to step in physically during at least one situation, changing his role from industry hopeful to full-time protection. The focus wasn't music anymore. It was safety, survival, and staying one step ahead in a cutthroat era. He said, "I was working against the devil." And according to him, it was only through faith and timing that things didn't go left. Through what he described as divine alignment, Master P and Priority Records helped put together a deal that actually worked in his favor right when pressure was closing in from all sides. He then took it back to the chaos at the 2001 Source Hip Hop Awards, where tension filled the room before anything even popped off. Seating arrangements became a serious issue, especially with Suge Knight and his people in the building. Big Nas claimed there was a strict protocol about who sat where, and plenty of people noticed it during the show itself.
I did go over there with a bulletproof vest on, heavy artillery, because you don't know how this shit gonna go.
Right.
You know, I was hoping to talk.
Oh no, these niggas ain't going out to Hawaii and have a ball. It ain't happening on our watch.
According to him, it made no sense for artists and bodyguards who already had problems with each other to be placed so close together. He said, "We were at the Source Awards, and we all know historically in the past, the Source Awards, someone always got shot. That history alone had everyone on edge from the jump." That night marked their first real face-to-face with Suge Knight and his crew. Eminem was heading toward his seat, but the setup was messy. The way the organizers arranged things kept bodyguards separated from the artists, and Big Nas felt that move wasn't accidental. He believed the idea was to encourage networking, but it also opened the door for people with beef to press issues directly. At that time, the rap game was already heated, and event organizers knew how fast things could spiral. They were trying to avoid an all-out fight breaking loose on a live stage, but the situation still felt unstable and unpredictable. Everything unfolded fast and felt completely out of control. Eminem and his team thought they were in a safe zone, but that belief didn't hold up for long. Instead, they found themselves caught between lingering tension tied to Death Row Records and Dr. Dre. When Eminem went to sit down, a group of men wearing red shirts reportedly surrounded him, shouting "Death Row" and claiming Suge had sent them. That moment flipped the mood instantly. Everyone realized just how exposed they were. To protect Eminem and keep things from escalating further, Big Nas didn't hesitate. He stepped in immediately and alerted Dr. Dre, making it clear that this situation was real, dangerous, and needed quick action.
Now him and this bodyguard on there, so they terrorizing him on the flight.
You see all these guys talking about death row, motherfucker, death row, motherfucker, death row. So by this time, I cut in.
After the Source Hip Hop Awards situation, Big Nas went into full protection mode. No slipping, no chances. Everything was treated like a live situation. He stayed on serious alert and made sure there was a car ready at all times in case things popped off unexpectedly. Security was tight though, and limos were only allowed to stop briefly at the red carpet, which made everything even more tense. Behind the scenes, Dr. Dre and his security team stayed locked in, eyes open, posture firm, watching every movement near Eminem. While Dre's crew held the line backstage to discourage anyone from making a move, Big Nas positioned himself directly in front of Eminem and his circle, ready to react instantly if anything went left. Even with all that pressure, Eminem didn't fold. He didn't retreat, didn't duck, didn't show fear. According to those there, he stood his ground and stared down the situation head on, even while facing direct threats from people tied to Suge Knight. That moment showed he wasn't just bold on the mic, he was solid in real life too. Big Nas later claimed this was only the first of two alleged attempts on Eminem's life linked to Suge Knight. The second scare reportedly happened during an event in Hawaii where word spread that something bad could go down. From that point on, protecting Eminem became the only mission. Big Nas alleged that Suge had sent a large group of associates from Los Angeles to disrupt a gathering involving Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre. What was supposed to be a calm trip instantly turned tense. According to him, nobody could relax, and the vibe shifted completely. He explained that the trip stopped feeling like a vacation real fast. People were focused on safety, staying alert, and sticking together. Honolulu police officers were assigned to escort them for the remainder of the stay to prevent anything from escalating further. Families were present, and the priority became keeping everyone safe and moving smart. Big Naz summed it up bluntly, saying, "Yeah, it was supposed to be a vacation, but it wasn't. We all had our wives. Some people had their kids with them. We thought it was a vacation, but it turned into a serious problem the moment we landed." He said police rushed them straight into transport, making sure families were secure and the situation didn't spiral out of control. At that point, Big Naz and the rest of the security team had to prep for the worst-case scenario. No shortcuts. Bulletproof vests came out, plans tightened up, and safety became the only priority.
Who's outside? Everybody like, run and drop the like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
Somebody said, Suge Knight here. I was at the bar, gang was there. He was shooting in the club scene. Suge looked at him, and he took a puff of his cigar, and he blew it out, and he did like this, and they left.
Because of how deep Suge's influence was rumored to run, they even leaned on Interscope to cover the cost of bringing in a Honolulu Police Department officer as extra protection. That alone shows how serious the situation felt. And it wasn't just Big Naz talking. Other names from that era backed up how tense things were. One of them was Reggie Wright Jr., a key figure tied closely to Death Row Records. Reggie wasn't just industry connected, he was a former police officer and once served as head of security for Death Row, so his insight carried weight. According to Reggie Wright Jr., Dr. Dre and his camp were planning a promotional stop at Power 106 as part of a bigger campaign. The idea was to hype a private concert in Hawaii, where radio listeners could win exclusive access. But once Reggie found out about those plans, he didn't hesitate to pass the information along to Suge Knight, who was already locked up at the time. Things got even stranger when Reggie ended up booking the same flight to Hawaii as Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Eminem. Later on, he spoke openly about the tension surrounding Eminem and people connected to Death Row, laying out how close everything came to going sideways. Fans who heard these stories later had mixed reactions. One said it was a relief nothing serious happened to Eminem or anyone else, adding that hearing insiders admit mistakes explained why so many artists avoided Death Row back then. Others said these stories matter for hip-hop history, calling them raw, honest, and eye-opening. Despite all the power Suge Knight was believed to have, Eminem was never taken out, no matter how intense the rumors became. That alone shocked people, considering how much control Suge was said to wield during that era. His push to dominate everyone around him didn't work on him, and it didn't stop there. That same bold energy extended to 50 Cent too. The audacity wasn't exclusive to Eminem because Suge Knight reportedly went after 50 for similar reasons, setting the stage for another dangerous chapter in hip-hop history. Eminem and 50 Cent clicked early, right when Eminem got signed to Dr. Dre's label after Dre broke away from Death Row Records. By then, Eminem had already peeped the dirty side of how Suge moved, and he wasn't blind to what was coming next in the game. Around that same time, Eminem started noticing the buzz around a hungry young artist named 50 Cent. 50 was locked in from day one and serious about the music industry. When Eminem heard Guess Who's Back and saw the grind behind it, he instantly recognized the hunger and raw potential. M didn't hesitate. He hit up Dre and told him straight up that this guy was different and had superstar written all over him. Once Dre listened to the music, things moved fast. 50 Cent got signed to Aftermath, and that move changed everything. From that moment on, the dynamic between 50 and Suge Knight shifted heavy. Signing with Dre and Eminem meant 50 was officially playing on a major level, standing shoulder to shoulder with the biggest names in hip-hop. With that rise came pressure, expectations, and a whole new mindset. Stardom wasn't just about fame anymore, it was about survival and influence. That kind of responsibility changes people fast, and 50 was stepping into a whole new lane. Around this same time, Suge Knight had recently been released from prison after serving about 5 years. He was trying to piece things back together and repair the damage done to his label. What he didn't see coming was that Dre's former circle, combined with this new powerhouse artist, would soon become his biggest competition in the industry. From the start, Suge built Death Row Records with authority in mind. Control mattered to him, and so did presence. It was only a matter of time before he crossed paths with 50 Cent, and that moment finally arrived in 2002. 50 was in the studio shooting the video for In Da Club, the record that would launch him into the stratosphere. Everything was smooth until someone suddenly yelled, "Suge Knight is here!" That's when the energy in the room flipped instantly. According to reports, Suge allegedly walked up with around 30 of his people, making it loud and clear he had arrived. The message was obvious without many words being said. He wanted everyone to know he was watching closely, and things got tense real fast. Clearly, 50 Cent didn't show an ounce of fear standing face to face with that intimidating crowd. No panic, no backing up, just calm confidence. After that moment, it was obvious to Suge that pressing 50 wasn't going to get him anywhere. 50 stayed focused and went right back to finishing what would become one of the most unforgettable music videos in hip-hop history. To this day, nobody truly knows why Suge chose that exact moment to pop up, but Eminem later hinted that it wasn't random at all. M had a pretty good idea of what kind of message Suge was trying to send, and it didn't land the way Suge expected. Now fast forward, and a lot of time has passed since Suge tried to assert dominance over the rap game. The contrast between where everyone ended up is hard to ignore. Suge Knight is currently behind bars, and his once massive influence has completely faded. Nobody knows when or if he'll ever return to power. Meanwhile, Eminem and 50 Cent built careers that reshaped hip-hop forever. Massive albums, global tours, and a legacy that still holds weight today. They didn't just become icons on the mic, they became known for their unbreakable bond and loyalty to each other. Suge's story ended very differently, and by now, everyone knows how that played out. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a comment and let your thoughts be heard. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves hip-hop history. We'll catch you on the next one.